I want to bring in former Congressman Charlie Dent from Pennsylvania. And it's not unexpected that in the statement announcing this, Donald Trump wrote that JD Vance will be strongly focused, he says, on the people he fought so brilliantly for, the American workers and farmers in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. So let me ask you about what value you think he has as a running mate for those key battleground states where now, if you look at the latest polls, it's too close to call in those battleground states. You're from Allentown. It's the kind of place that a lot of people argued JD Vance could relate to because of the book he wrote, Hillbilly Elegy, having grown up poor in Ohio. What do you make of this pick, and what value or that do you think he has in those battleground states, particularly in the Midwest, or do you think it's overstated?
Well, it appears to me that Donald Trump has doubled down on his MAGA base through this selection of J.D. Vance. This does not expand the Trump base, in my view. Maybe a Rubio would have done that, or some other person. But this is not going to expand the base for the Republican Party. And in fact, I would argue that there are going to be a lot of Republicans who are going to be unhappy with this selection because many of us believe that we ought to have a principles-based conversation about the future of the party. Most of us are opposed to appeasing Russia. Most of us are opposed to 10% tariffs across the board, this isolationist, protectionist type of agenda. And I think many of us who are more traditional Republicans, we want to have that debate about the future. The MAGA roots are rather shallow. The types of principles I'm talking about that I've been working with Jack Danforth on and others through our Republican legacy, we're trying to have a really policy-focused conversation on peace through strength, free markets. We're against these ridiculous tariffs. We think that appeasing Russia is a mistake. We should be embracing allies. And to me, it seems like J.D. Vance, embraces all the things that many of us are objecting to. So I don't see how this brings a lot of new people into the fold, particularly that Nikki Haley voter, who I think articulated a vision closer to what I'm talking about.
Let me go down back on the floor. We have Governor Mike DeWine once more with Vaughn Hillyard. It is the senator from his state that is the vice presidential pick of Donald Trump. Vaughn, back to you.
Right. Governor DeWine, now the pick has been formalized. Your Senator JD Vance is now the selection. Have you had the chance to connect with him yet?
No, I've not. We've been pretty busy down here on the floor, and I know he's very busy.
You were talking to him earlier today?
Yeah, I talked to him earlier today. But this is very exciting for the state of Ohio. This is a great thing for Ohio. We say Ohio's the heart of it all. Now we're going to have the vice president of the United States, and certainly the candidate, and then we hope the vice president.
When did you first meet JD Vance?
I sought him out, actually. After he wrote his book, I wanted to talk to him. I thought it was fascinating what he articulated in that book. And so we started meeting. He and his wife came over for dinner, the governor's residence. Fran and I had the opportunity to host them. And we've been friends since, and we have, a good working relationship, which I'm looking forward to continuing when he's in the White House.
Two things for you. One, where does Ohio go here this year with him as the pick?
Ohio's going to go for Trump. He won 8% by 8 points the first time, 8 times the second time. The real question is the U.S. Senate. Bernie Moreno, who's right here today, running for the United States Senate against Sherrod Brown. Very tough race. I think Bernie can win, but we know it's going to be a real battle.
My last thing for you. You have caught the ire of Donald Trump over the years. JD Vance caught the ire of Donald Trump with some of his statements back in 2016. The last time we were at a convention together, it was a much different atmosphere, if I could say that. What has your been advice to him in terms of navigating that and getting to this point where he could be comfortable accepting the vice presidency with Donald Trump?
Well, I'm not going to give him any advice. Look, he's become the vice presidential nominee, so he doesn't need any help from me. I just look forward to working with him. I've always felt that the governor of Ohio needs to work with the president of the United States, frankly, no matter who the president is. I've done it with Donald Trump, and then I did it with Joe Biden. I look forward to working with Trump and Vance in the future.
Governor, thank you.
Thank you.
Governor DeWine of Ohio. Guys.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.